Welcome to Enlightened Game with Slim Sir, as he takes the lessons he learned from the streets, commonly known as the game, and applies them to everyday life, helping everyday people win the game of life, focusing on relationships, money, and the winner's lifestyle. This podcast will turn any chump into a champ. So if you're ready, let the game begin. And now, your host, the most valuable player himself, Slim Sir.
Thank you. My name is Slim Sir, and welcome to my audio notebook. This is a place where I just inject my brain onto the audio, man, and I let you inspect it and be the judge. Before we go into tonight's subject, I'm going to ask you to click the thumbs up button, like this video or this audio, share it with your friends if you find any value in it. What we want to do is elevate the game, and so I've taken it upon myself to share this higher level game with you, a lot of times for free, in the hopes that you share it. And you never know, we could spark that one brain that changes the entire game, the entire world, right? With one word, just like it happened with me. You know, it was one phrase that changed me. Well, a whole bunch of phrases, but the right phrase at the right time. That's my point. Anyway, tonight we're going to go a little bit off topic. We've been talking about how to pimp life and karma. But a lot of you dudes hit me up on Instagram, or they send me emails and they complain about their ladies. And from a pimp's perspective, a pimp never complains about his lady. You know why? Because a pimp wants the best and the most from his lady. And if she is not giving him the best and the most, then she will no longer be his lady. Therefore, there's nothing to complain about. You see? So, whenever you hear some so-called pimping complaining about a female, he is not the pimping, because pimps don't complain, especially not over a lady, right? If you're on that level of the game, or just in a relationship level, okay? A man should never be complaining about a lady, because the man himself wants the best and most for himself, and he wants the best and the most from his woman. And if she's not giving him that, then she should no longer be his woman. Therefore, there's no argument, there's no complaints, there's nothing to think about. Just keep it moving. The problem happens when you too damn weak as a man to require the best and the most from her. A lot of times you don't require the best and the most from a woman because you don't require the best and the most from yourself. Straight up. You lazy, so the woman is going to reflect you, and therefore she's going to be lazy, right? And if you can't get the best and the most out of yourself, what makes you think you can get the best and the most out of a woman? You see what I'm saying? So you don't get the best and the most out of her, and therefore you're not happy, and therefore you complain. But it really starts with you, because if your standard was to get the best and the most out of your life, then you would have to hold her to that standard that you live up to. And if she didn't live up to that standard, it would be easy for you to tell her to either live up to the standard, or she has to be, you gotta go on. You gotta kick rocks. You gotta go. You understand? Because that devalues your circle. That devalues your life. When you have people around you that are doing the worst and doing the least, it devalues you. You have an obligation that if somebody's going to be in your life, you have to require that they do the best and be the best that they can. See, your life is not only a reflection of what you do, but it's also a reflection of what the people around you do. They contribute to your life. If they're around you, they are contributing to your life in some way, shape, or form. And if they're not contributing to your life, then why are they around you? You understand? You have to require the best and the most from the people that are in your life. All right? The reason why your life is on a low level is because you're not requiring the best and the most from yourself or the woman that you're around. You know what? Take a look around at the people around you, and if they're not doing the best and they're not putting in the most work, get them from around you. You know what I'm saying? Being pretty or having a fat ass is not a good requirement. That is not necessarily the best that you can have in your life. That's not the best decision that you can make. The best type of person that you can have in your life is someone who has the best perception of themselves, right? And wants the most out of their lives. You know, what kind of people are you around if the people that you're around don't want the best and the most out of their lives? I want you to really analyze yourself, but analyze the people that's around you too. The hell are you doing? Hanging out with people who want the worst and the least, who are willing to do the least, but they always want the most. And that's why their lives are fucked up, because they don't have a good, strong work ethic. You have to be willing to do the most. The pimping is willing to do the most. All right? The trick and the square and the lane, they want to do the least. So when you find yourself doing the least, brother, you know you're in lane territory, and the pimping don't do that. The pimping is far from that. The pimping is doing the most. And your people around you should be doing the most. You should all be busy. You know, when you see couples arguing, you know why they arguing? Because they're not doing the most. They're doing the least. So they ain't got nothing to do but sit there and argue. But if you busy being the best, doing your best, and doing the most, you ain't got no damn time to argue. You don't got no time to argue. If you agree with what I'm saying, like this video and share it with people if you think it's good for people to hear. People need this message. This is the best message for them. And we're going to give them the most of it. We're going to flood the airwaves with this teaching. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you should require the most from the lady that you're with. If you're a lady, you should require the most from the man that you're with. He should be the best at what he does. She should be the best at what she does. If you know, whoever you're with, they should be the best. And if they're not the best, they should be doing the most to become the best. You see what I'm saying? Anything outside of this pimping mentality is really some simping shit. Really some whack shit. It's some lame shit. Lying and making excuses. That's what lame stands for. L-A-M-E. Lying and making excuses. That's what lames do. Don't be a lame. Don't be a lame. Be some pimping and get the best and the most. And require that. And if you require the best and the most from people and they get agitated and don't like that and they don't step their game up, those are not the people that you should be having in your life. It's really just that simple. And this teaches you, you know what, you're going to go through a lot of people. You know, you have to cut ties with a lot of people, and it's going to hurt. But that's where the game comes in. See, guidance above my emotions. What is the guidance? The guidance is that you want the best and the most from yourself. You require the best and most from other people. And if they can't live up to that standard, you have to cut ties with them. Simple and plain. That is the guidance. Now follow the guidance. Which one are you going to do? Follow the guidance or be emotional? I'm sure if you look around into your life right now, you're going to find people there. If not yourself, that's the person you should start with, yourself. But you're going to find people in your life that are doing worse or doing the worst type of things. One of the worst things you could do is waste time. Or people who see themselves as the worst. They have poor self-esteem. Why would you want to be around someone like that who sees themselves negatively, sees other people negatively, and is willing to do only the least? These people are not going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? They're never going to be successful. And if all of your friends think negatively about themselves and speak negatively about themselves and other people and are lazy as hell, what do you think your life is going to turn out to be if you continue to associate with losers and lames? You see what I'm saying? You got to separate yourself from the lames. Separate yourself from the liars who make excuses. The opposite of lying and making excuses is being honest and taking responsibility. And that's what the pimping is. The pimping is the opposite of a lame. A lame means lying and making excuses. The opposite of that is being honest and taking responsibility, getting the job done, handling your business. You see what I'm saying? That's what the pimping is. See, ain't nobody teaching you this except for us. SlimSir.com. Go to SlimSir.com and pick up one of the books, man. Preferably How to Pimp Life and Karma. Because this book is not only going to teach you how to pimp your life and karma, because life is a bitch and karma is a bitch, but it indirectly teaches you how to deal with women successfully. You see what I'm saying? You see, a lot of these dudes that teach you this so-called pimping, what they teaching you is some bullshit that comes from their ego that doesn't work, and it most likely is going to lead you to prison. But if you listen to this game that I've been teaching you, it's solid all the way around. You're not going to find any flaws or any weaknesses in it. This is because it's real game. And real game is universal. It's solid. It's time-tested. It's eternal. You understand? Anyway, let's get back to it. I want you, if you're a man, I want you to look at the people in your life, specifically the ladies in your life or the lady in your life, and expect more from them. Expect the best from them from this point on. All right? And require the most from them. No more lazy shit. Okay? You're going to put the work in. You know why? Because karma is a bitch, and karma means cause and effect. So if you want the best effect, if you want the best out of somebody, you have to put the best into somebody. You see how this works? This is some beautiful game. You understand? So now, instead of complaining about your lady being the worst and the least, if the effect that you want to produce is for her to be the best and the most, then you're going to have to put the best and the most as the cause in her mind, beginning with her perception, and show her that she is the best. Why is she the best? Because she's with some pimping, and the pimping sees himself as the best and is willing to do the most, and that's why she's the best. You see what I'm saying? See, you got to use this game, brother. Use this game, sister. If you were a man and he sees himself, he has low self-esteem, he sees himself as the worst and the least, he's not beneficial to you in that state. You have to convince him in his mind that he is the best. And he has to put in a little bit more work and do the most. And guess what? The effect, the result that you're going to produce is going to be a lot better and more beneficial if you think of yourself as the best. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, we only got a few seconds left, so I'm going to ask you to share this video if you found any value in it. And I'm also going to ask you to go to my website, SlimSir.com, and look at all the game that I'm just giving you, basically, for pennies. You know, it's digital downloads, so you don't have to pay for paper and stuff like that. You download it, whether it be a video rental, an audio, a book, a newsletter. We have a ton of game for you on SlimSir.com. I want to thank you for your time and your attention. Until next time, peace.